So the police are going in circles right now. I'm supposedly supposed to be going to a homeless summit with Resident Action Project. I'll have to try to look up their numbers and actually verify that it's them, that I'm not getting into a trap. That's supposed to be tomorrow. If I'm talking quietly, which really sucks, it's 1 a.m., so I can't be loud because this I think is somebody's balcony or something like that. So, I'm undercover because it's supposed to be raining. I'm sleeping outside because, there is no acceptable shelter. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, and I cannot be around mentally ill people. The police just had some random dude walk up, and he walked up and put some kind of beer in front of me. And I think I remember this happening before. And actually, it's happened before. The amount that I've been attacked for being somebody that is highly unlikely to commit any kind of crime has been really whack. With the police, they don't do anything to go after criminals at all, and they choreograph big, huge things to go after people for sleeping outdoors. Like, huge, giant things. But they don't go after criminals. Ever. I've been here for 20 years, poor, and I've never known the police in this community to go after criminals. I have only known them to go after people for sleeping outside. There's online, there's a whole bunch of there's a whole bunch of these posts showing up recently where they talk about how we need a new jail and the police can't do their job and everything. And the thing is that they can. They choose not to. They've been doing these new laws that they're talking about. They're supposedly new. The police have not been arresting criminals for 20 years. They've pretty much only been focusing on, or at least 10 years maybe, focusing on people sleeping outdoors. They have not focused on crime. They've only focused on where he's sleeping. I've been outside for 6 years because landlord hate, discrimination, greed, and the communities hate discrimination and greed. And the police, I think, have some actual responsibility in that also. Because I don't drink and I don't smoke and I don't do drugs, I am a target if I'm at the shelter. There are other reasons why I'm a target, but it's not that I've ever been a thief or I've ever done anything wrong. I'm not entirely sure the other reasons why I'm a target, but I'm definitely a target because I'm also a target in the community. I have to deal with people making up stories and lying about me and slandering me every day of my life. They don't ever stop. I had made a video to put on my GoFundMe, talking about, mostly, it was a shortened version. It was like 13 minutes long. It was a shortened version of talking about why, people should donate to my GoFundMe, and, why there is no acceptable shelter here. For one thing, base camp is not housing, it's a shelter. But even if you're being mandated to go to shelters and not being allowed to sleep anywhere else, which is like a concentration camp, that's not a mental illness that's saying that either. If you really actually think about it, if you actually use your brains, if you see there's another cop, they keep on going by me and videotaping me or whatever. And this is after, okay, so going backwards a little bit. So the cops, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I think he just went the other way. They must have a couple of them because the siren was somewhere else. So anyway, after they just did their little skit with the guy with the beer, they were trying to pressure me into prostitution again, and that's what happened when they stole my iPad. When my iPad got stolen, and then they wouldn't do anything about my stolen iPad, right? Because it's more important to go after people for sleeping outside than go after people for stealing your iPad that you use for work and has thousands of dollars worth of work in it. So let's go over, like I said, I had made a video for the GoFundMe. No matter how many times I try to re-download it to put it online, to put it on YouTube, it's not working. I don't know what happened to the file, but it was on my phone, and I had to reset my phone because someone stole my hotspot or did something to make it stop working. I don't know what the hell they did to my phone, but I had to refactory set my phone and everything to get the hotspot to start working again. And so, and I need that for work. Speaking of work, the community will not allow me to earn money. So let's talk about why base camp is not acceptable. The community has not allowed me to earn money for 20 years. Every time I've tried, I've had massive slander, and I'm talking massive slander, smear campaigns, everything where people just go crazy and just get mad as hell that I'm trying to earn money. They go crazy. They go completely crazy. And so I can't earn money, so you won't allow me to pay for my own housing. You won't allow me to have housing. There are no landlords that will rent to me because I'm on disability benefits. That's been happening for 20 years, but previously I was mostly able to either get indoors through renting a room from roommates and not being on any leases, and not going through landlords, or and that usually would last just a couple months, or being able to get into some types of subsidized housing that was actually available back then that is not available now. The room situation has become not available because landlords have decided to raise the rents at astronomical levels. We used to have rooms that were $275 a month to like $300 a month. Now they want $700, $800, $900, which is more than my income. Because you guys won't allow me to earn money. So taking that into consideration, you have base camp, which is not acceptable because of the type of people that are in it. They are not acceptable to live around, and the conditions aren't acceptable to live there long term for housing. And there is no chance of getting out of base camp once you're in it. Like, there's no chance of getting housing because you guys won't allow me to earn money. Right? There's nowhere else to go after that. There's nowhere to live because you guys won't allow me to earn money. And I've been working for a year and a half before you say anything about how you will allow me to earn money. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. Because we'll go through this, okay? So the fast food joints, they've all food poisoned me. Every last one of them. So why would they hire me? And then what else? What other jobs do we have here? Right? I personally wouldn't be able to work fast food. That would be like the worst fucking job to match me up with. Like, that would not work for me. I can't think of any other jobs where you would allow me to work at. I could even come close to working at. But you wouldn't allow me to work at them anyway, is what I'm saying. Like, you guys haven't allowed me to earn money for 20 years. And even if I went to go apply to jobs that I could probably keep for about a week before being fired, you guys wouldn't let me in. Then there's the fact that I've been working for a year and a half every single day. More than a year and a half every single day. From sometime, I think it was 2020 when I started doing these. So it's been probably about 2 years now of working almost every day. Just about every day. And you guys have not paid me money once. And that's doing all of the design print-on-demand stuff. Nobody's buying anything, whether it's cheap, expensive, nice, cool looking, all that kind of stuff. Nobody's buying any of it. And almost nobody is looking. Not even the people that try to act like they're homeless advocates. They don't even look. So, you guys don't allow me to earn money. It's been 20 years now, and you still haven't allowed me to earn money. That's a very long time of not allowing someone to earn money. And doing everything you can to prevent them from doing so. It's a lot, and I've been working for the last couple of years without being paid, so it's a really long time. I don't know of anybody else that would work that long without getting paid. Plus, I've put in like more than $3,000 into my work without getting paid. So I've worked enough to warrant being able to have housing, like actual housing. Your systems of the way you're dealing with stuff. Like, okay, so subsidized housing doesn't exist for the most part. And every time people's names come up at the top of the list, they either get told they're not accepted. They didn't used to, and now people like me are told that we're not accepted because we're on benefits. We didn't used to have that problem with subsidized housing, and now we do. The types of people that have taken over subsidized housing do not allow people on SSI to get into housing. They're not allowing people left and right. That's not just me, but it's definitely me because I'm definitely being targeted by these people. So I'm one of the people that's being targeted. I know that there's a lot of other people, though, that aren't getting into subsidized housing that deserve it way more than the people who already have it. Than a lot of the people that already have it that I know of. There's a lot of crazies that have it that are they're absolutely insane. And yeah, but anyway, so there's that. We're already getting way past where I was supposed to be at to end this. Then there's the fact that I'm risking my life and my health and everything every night that I'm out here. You're risking it, not me. You're putting me in danger by having me out here. I have had a lot of mentally ill people sent out after me, and it's extremely obvious that they've been sent out after me. I've had, I had bleach poured on my face. I've had a whole bunch of attacks. I've had a lot of things happen. Even just like this last thing where they had this guy come up and put beer in front of me. I've never seen this dude, and then they act like I'm like going out with him or something. They pretend to act like that even though they know that I don't know him. They set stuff up. They also, as far as the police are concerned, they will set things up that don't exist in order to trespass people out of like a certain piece of sidewalk or whatever. They'll make it look like the person drinks or the person does this or the person does that when they don't, in order to arrest them. So you as the community are putting me at risk and danger every day. What else needs to be said before I end this, because we're way long again. I was supposed to make this into like 10 minutes and we're all the way at 18 minutes again. Base camp is full of people who are drunks, addicts, criminals, thieves. There's a lot of people that have been homeless for a lot longer than I have, who have just lived a criminal lifestyle for a really long time, who target me. So I can't be in that situation. I also, even if those were trespassed, all of their minions would still be there. Like, it's not one of those situations. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of hard to explain the huge problem with the shelters here. There are no shelters where people who live an honest, non-toxic life can stay. There are no non-toxic shelters. There's no availability, and there's none that people have decided to make or run. So you haven't made any of that available. There are no sober shelters. They try to act like people are supposed to not use drugs, but they accept people who have many, many, many years of drug history, acting like they're not going to use drugs, for instance, and that kind of stuff. There's, what else? I mean, every single angle you look at, pretty much amounts to, you guys should be paying for my housing at this point, because you have not allowed me to pay for my own housing. And it's not within human rights to force someone to go into these shelters that are not acceptable places to inhabit. I'll put it that way. They would be breaking my boundaries every single day, all day long. They would be violating my rights every single day, all day long. If I went into a shelter, I would be being abused every single second of every single day. So if you had an acceptable form of shelter, like if you had a tiny home village that didn't allow the pieces of shit to be in it, because we have a few tiny home villages here, but all of the pieces of shit are in it, so it makes it not acceptable. You have to have it so that people that are as honest as I am and has just been discriminated out of housing, basically, instead of being pieces of shit, basically. Also, I am not capable at this point anymore. I am 40 years old, and I am not going to put up with it. So if I were to be forced into a shelter, I would have to start fighting and beating the people up and killing them and all of the other shit, because I'm not at the point in my life where I am even close to being able to allow people to stomp all over me still. It's pretty clear that I'm not even capable of allowing that to keep continuing. So shelters are not the right fit. And they're more than not the right fit, considering you guys have forced your hand and violated every single right there is, basically, against me. You guys have stolen $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 from me over the last 15 years of stuff. None of you have been arrested, and none of you have paid me back, and none of you have donated. So, if anything, like, I should be reimbursed for that. So I think we're covering every angle. It took 25 minutes to do instead of 10, and I had a 10-minute video that covered everything, and it won't load, and it was like the one to put up, and it won't load. So I don't know what else to do at this point, because it's been like a week and a half, 2 weeks that I can't get it to load, and now the police are doing this whole skit thing where they have some guy that supposedly committed a crime come up and try to give me a beer. And I've never seen him before. So, yeah, so, and this happened the last time that the rap thing was supposedly happening, I think. They also are trying to pretend that Siegel wasn't shot at. They also are almost pretending that my iPad wasn't stolen, or all of the other stuff that with the guy that kept on getting into my laptop and trying to steal. You guys are out in the community have been stealing my art. You've been stealing my files off my laptop. You've been stealing my hotspot. You've been stealing everything from me every fucking night. And having these crazy people come after me. This one dude that poured bleach on me or whatever the fuck it was, like bleach Drano, whatever, he, they acted like he was no big deal. And he was sleeping in front of the bank doorway for a really long time. So if I get in trouble for having slept on the sidewalk on the side of the building, on the side of this bank building, he was like literally in the doorway for a really long time, and you guys were cool with it. So yeah, I'm gonna try to put this up though. I'm sure I don't know if there's any other angles that you guys are not understanding why you've gotten to the point where you guys should be paying for my housing. Because I have the right to survive, right? Oh, and that was the other thing. I'm not allowed to survive outdoors where I can take care of myself. Like, I'm not allowed to put a tent up. I'm not allowed to keep myself warm or build a shelter or use any kind of land to build a shelter. And that's obvious. That's something that nobody is allowed to do, right? So that's a given. Just I have to say it so that you guys understand it. None of us out here are allowed to build our own shelter or keep ourselves alive through winter. So that was another one. So if we're not allowed to build our own shelter, if we're not allowed to keep ourselves warm, if we're not allowed to take care of ourselves, and you won't provide an acceptable form of shelter, and you won't allow us to rent, and you won't allow us to earn money, and you won't allow us to do any other options in life, then you need to pay for our housing. I'm sorry, you do. You don't have the right to tell me I have to die. Because that's basically what you're doing. Or be in jail. You don't have the right to tell me that just because I exist, I need to be in jail. Or dead. You don't have the right. You don't have the right. So, I think we've gone over everything. Let me know if there's something missing, because it's probably also very explainable through those, 5 things that I listed. Those are very, very big. Like, you don't allow me to earn money, you don't allow me to make my own shelter, you don't allow me to take care of myself, you don't allow me to, I already said, earn money. You don't have an acceptable form of shelter, especially if it needs to be housing. You don't have any housing. You don't have any housing to wait for. Like, no housing is going to be coming available within the next 6 months, year, 2 years, whatever. You don't have... What else was missing? There was some other things I said, but I'm going to end this now.